Okay, all good in the hood. Please, can I get a 5x5 before we crack on? Need to make sure that you can see and hear me because this couldn't really wait till tonight. I'm gonna have to drop this now because this information. Oh, cheers, honey. Maybe a bit biased because she's just downstairs, but that's quite funny. So yeah, I need to know if you guys out there in internet land can hear me. John, slave to no man's here. Hey, dude, good to see you. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that confirmation. Sorry, there's a bit of a lag, but we are going to get going. This information does appear to be time sensitive. This stuff it's been dropping all day, and no doubt as we are doing this presentation on what we know so far, we are going to be getting even more stuff coming. So thank you to Bizal and Gary, and of course Rachel. Brilliant. So good. Everyone can see and hear me. We've got 174 rocking and rolling straight now. So yes, it's a little bit crazy what's going on. This is almost, you know, when I've done the live stream about what's going on with the eclipse. Wow. And I said I will be updating you guys as things develop. Well, things have developed, and I don't know if you know about the things that are on the thumbnail of this video. I don't know if you guys have been at work all day and you've got no idea what's been going on, but let me fill you in of what's been going on. It's pretty crazy, actually. So yes, we got nearly 300 already. I would really appreciate it if you can share this video and give it a quick thumbs up. You just come out of the chat, thumbs up, it's done. And what that does is it helps boost the video out there so more people can get into the chat. I appreciate that it is a bit early. 5:30. I know lots of people are still at work, making their way home from work. But like I said, this really couldn't wait. And I think those guys who do get in and watch videos around 7 o'clock, you're going to have to watch a replay. I'm sorry about that, but that's how it is. We need to get this out there. And like I say, if you can share it, it really helps. So we have got lots of stuff going on. Right, okay, we're just going to get straight into it right now. The eclipse. The 8th of April, or the Americans call it April 8th, but they do. Anyway, CERN is going to be reactivated on that day. It's been offline for quite a while. Okay, so straight away, why would they choose that day to do that? That is number one, very strange things. And like most of us in this community who get in here, we don't really believe in coincidences. I'm talking about coincidences that are so frigging much and so often. If you believe that everything is just some random coincidence, then there's not much I can do for you. You're going to have to sort of figure it out in your own time. We're just going to roll with it with the people who are aware of what's going on, so we can like mull over this and just share it amongst their friends and family. 419 in the chat already. But not only that, yes, CERN is being reactivated for the big day. Go figure. Not only that, now get this. Some people are going to say, I'm lying, I'm making this up. But no, all of the links to everything which I'm going to be talking about are right under this video. There's about 9, okay? They're links to videos, they're linked to documents, they're linked to articles, etc. And it's all there, okay? So please feel free to go under the video and check out all of the links if you want to look into it further, or maybe just expand upon what I'm glossing over, because there's a lot to go over. Not only are CERN activating their Hadron Collider on the exact time of the eclipse, but NASA are going to be firing not 1, not 2, but 3 missiles at the moon as the eclipse is happening. Now, I know it sounds crazy, and you're thinking, man, Darren's lost the plot. Check it out. It's on the official NASA website and lots of other websites. Like I say, all of it is under the video, okay? There's loads of other stuff. There's talk about Blackout Warfare, about EMP going off over America, bringing in the Great Reset. There's so much stuff going on there. It's insane. There's lots of activity very recently, which has been going on in Yellowstone with the cold air there, which is a bit crazy. King George III has actually cancelled Maundy, which is their weird old ritualistic tradition, which us plebs call Easter, okay, is cancelled it. And to be honest, is not looking very well. We're going to get into more of this. We're just glossing over the highlights, okay, because people are coming on board. I've uncovered some information which I believe is not on the internet. Okay, I've actually discovered this myself. I've done some research, crunched the numbers, and it's led into a rabbit hole, which is crazy. I'm going to link what happened when the statue of Shiva was publicly handed over and announced at the CERN facility to some very, very strange ceremony, should I say ritual, which happened precisely 3 days ago, which we're going to go over. The days between all of that was 237 months, 237, linked with the moon room, Stanley Kubrick's film The Shining. I know it all sounds crazy. Some of you might have an inkling where I'm going with this, but there is a lot. There is a lot more, okay? So, I know. And the project which NASA have called firing these 3 rockets at the moon, guess what they have called it? The serpent deity. You can't make this up, okay? They've rebranded it as APEP, so it's atmospheric perturbations around the eclipse, as APEP, which was the ancient name of the serpent of evil. Did they just coincidentally make these friggin' names up? We got 570 people in the chat, so we are going to honestly, I was so right, cool. Okay, we got stuff set up because people are going to want to know my email address. It's in the banner underneath. Yeah, it's crazy. So, isn't it a bit strange that the king was diagnosed with the big C, and he was in hospital at the same time as Kate? She's looking really ill, is looking really ill. If you don't believe me, this picture was taken of our king today. When I looked at it, I thought it doesn't really look much like him, but have a look at what our king looks like right now. Now, I said last year that the king will not be king this year between, I would say, up to Christmas. So any time this year up to Christmas, I fundamentally believe that King Charles III will not be king of Great Britain or England. Okay, here's a picture of him today. It doesn't look too clever. Okay, now obviously he feels that he needs to put a brave face and everything, despite his recent diagnosis, if indeed that is true. Okay, how do we, the people, actually know and moreover believe what is put in the mainstream press? Okay, you would have thought, really, with the world's very best dietitians, healthcare, their bloodline, everything, there's no way I would assume that anyone, the true bloodline of the royal family, would ever get cancer anyway. So this is a bit fishy to me, if that makes sense. So there is so much going on. And for those of you who don't know what CERN is or how big it is, it's on the border between Switzerland and France. Now I'm going to show you just how big this CERN facility is. Check that out. It is absolutely massive. It goes underground, and there are all sorts of weird and wonderful rumors of that being actually placed on a very, very old ancient site, which we are going to talk about a little bit as we go through this video, because everything ties in together. There is definitely something going on with the eclipse, with CERN, with rituals, with numbers, and not all of this is online. Okay, so you guys might be the first to get some of this information privy already. Thank you on PayPal to Justin for that donation on PayPal. Thank you for that, sir. It really helps. I spent all day actually going through this, so yes. Right, okay. So whilst we're on the subject of CERN, it's a concern. Right, okay. Who remembers the film The Matrix? Should I take the red pill or should I take the blue pill? It's a very, very poignant film, and it really goes into some sort of top base level of detail regarding how sort of reality is perceived by lots of us now. So without getting too much into the Matrix, CERN, look at this. Unbelievable. Yes, they have decided to call certain programs from the Matrix awake. Okay. If we look into it, the approval was 2013. Then they first started testing it 2016. The second phase of awake successfully started in 2021. So when the film The Matrix came out in 1999, it was way before all of this. So I found it quite interesting that they are calling all of these programs after The Matrix, which does actually talk about alternative realities. Okay, so let me just try and find the other one. So again, Alice, can you see where we're going with this? Morpheus absolutely said, do you feel like Alice tumbling down the rabbit hole? So Alice in Wonderland. Now, some of us are aware that there is all sorts of stuff going on with The Matrix, Alice in Wonderland, and Walt Disney, and hidden messages, subliminal messages. It's all there. And all of this stuff links. And to put the cherry on the top, they decided to launch White Rabbit. So we've got Awake, we have got Alice, and now we have the White Rabbit, all in conjunction with CERN. Look at this, 22nd of March, 6 days ago. 6 days ago now. Yes, this is all very recent, right on perfect timing, just before this very, very important eclipse, which we are going to be seeing on the 8th. So what about, like I said earlier, CERN? Where exactly is it? Like I said, Switzerland, France. I would like to draw your attention to this, which I saw earlier. Actual fact, I will show you this one. This is a base view. Like I said, all of these links to these items we're talking about are below this video. Please feel free to watch them anytime. And do some of your own research, because the more people we've got looking into this sort of stuff, the more we can have a better idea. Because at the end of the day, we're preppers, and we are getting all of this information literally dropping all over the place today, hence this video going out. So you guys who have shared it already, really appreciate that. Yes, we are expecting even more weird coincidences to pop between now and the 8th of April. So Apollo's Temple. This was way back in 2015. This was written. Okay. Look at this. There's a little town in Switzerland called that place. Forgive me, I don't speak French. Until the 1960s, this place was relatively small in commerce and population. Part of the name comes from the Latin, the Greek god Apollo. Okay. Which means to destroy. So when you connect that with Shiva, and we're going to go through that in a sec. Incidentally, if you didn't already know, Shiva's the guy in the middle of the eclipse picture on the thumbnail. And yes, the dance of destruction, which we're going to go into in a bit. We got a video which I'm not sure if we can watch, but my God, when you've seen that, you're going to really understand where I'm coming from with all of this. It all sounds a bit vague at the moment, okay? But yeah, on Apollo's old lands in Switzerland, in front of the CERN building. So when you go through this article here, It also ties in with Revelations 9:11, which 9:11 in itself has significance with date-orientated isometrics, which we've already talked about before. But yes, you can, if you wanted to, you can go deeper into this. Okay, so this is available underneath the video. CERN and the Bottomless Pit. This was only written a few years ago. Very, very interesting read. Very, very interesting indeed. And like I say, this is available underneath this video. Okay. Like I say, to go through all of this now might take some time. So what I might do is leave this underneath where you guys can read it properly. Okay, there's lots of Bible excerpts from here backing up some of the intel from this report. Very interesting, actually. This, here we go, I found it. Now there's a video on this which I've got coming on this video. Okay, the opening ceremony for the Swiss Gotthard Tunnel reveals the connection between CERN and the touted world's longest and deepest tunnel. You want to see the opening ceremony of this, or should I say the ritual for this? It's mind-blowing. It really is mind-blowing. Let me just try and see if I can. Yeah, I believe it's the right. Okay. This is just a glimpse of it. I just want to check if I've got it on the screen so you guys can see. I'll see if I can enlarge it. Let's start it from here. If you guys remember the film Metropolis, it's very similar to that. Let's say to do this very, very strange opening ceremony with hardly anyone watching it is crazy. Now, if you wanted to, you can watch the whole ceremony online. I think it's over an hour long. Excuse me. So what you're going to see on here is some very, very weird stuff. So we've been hearing about CERN and portals and other dimensions connecting to the bottomless pit, the Towers of Babel, inverted, all of those sorts of things. Why would they go and show things like this? It makes the mind boggle. So you are seeing some sort of takeover by how these humans are reacting. It is very, very weird. And looky here, looky here. I wonder what that might be. Yeah, I'm not joking, guys. This is a ritual. Okay. So you can see the dance of Baal on the screen. You can see scarab beetles times 3. We could be seeing the Holy Trinity there. And if you know what scarab beetle represents out in ancient Egypt, it's the afterlife and rebirth. We have eyes as well, going round clockwise in a circle. All of these things are rituals and they all represent certain symbols. Okay. It's just bizarre beyond belief. You can't make this up. And look at this. We've been seeing some weird stuff going on with time. So are we seeing time slips with what is been going on with CERN? Are we going to be losing time, gaining time? Are we going to be getting deja vu? Are we going to be feeling that we've lost something? We don't know where it is, and all of a sudden it's there again? Yeah, I'm not joking. That sort of stuff is a bit bonkers, to be fair. Okay, so it's really interesting to see what you guys are putting. Time is an illusion. Of course it is. Absolutely, Russ, you got it right there, mate. Awesome. You guys donating is fantastic. It really helps. Yeah, some of you guys I know look into some of the Bible stuff. There was talk of Antipas. So you're looking at Revelation 2:13, going back to Saint Antipas. So the emperor would have been Nero, which now translates as Geneva. It's exactly where CERN is. When you look at that passage in there, you will understand what I'm talking about with that. It is pretty crazy. So many of these things links. Cicadia happens every 200 years, pretty much knowing full well that no one's going to live over 200 years. So there is all sorts of uprisings and things happening at the spot where this eclipse path is going to be. If you don't already know, the National Guard are already going to be in place. There is likely to be no communications. All local governments across that area involved in the US are being told to stock up on food, fuel, and all schools have closed. So why would they do that if it was a bog standard eclipse? Okay, I would assume that the schools will still be open. Kids would go there and they'll go out in the playground and they can have a look at it. Of course, it's something special, something to remember, etc. But yet closing all the schools. Has anyone seen an eclipse before? And do you remember schools being closed when it happened? I remember seeing the eclipse in southern England in 1999. Who remembers that in the UK? Hit me up in the live stream if you was there in 1999 and you saw the solar eclipse, the totality. It's incredible. I never forget the experience when that happened. Obviously, it got darker, it got cooler. All of the birds just disappeared and went extremely quiet. It lasted for around a minute or so. It's very, very eerie. And it was like everything just stopped. It's an amazing experience. So why they are telling all of the sheep people that you have to wear special glasses to see this? Really? Can you imagine our ancient ancestors looking at the eclipse wearing glasses? I don't know why people feel that they need to wear special glasses. Talk about high-level brainwashing and how easily people are led and manipulated. You do not need special glasses to view the eclipse. If you want to, it's up to you. I wouldn't if it was me. So like I said earlier on, let me just see if I can pull this up. Yeah, it was a strange thing. It was, who remembers back in 2021, the zombie fungus? Who remembers that stuff that was going on? Yeah, there's all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, but I don't really think it's got any weight behind this story. So let me just conclude that piece over there. We got 1001, 1001. Nice. Appreciate that very, very much. Adrian and Erica, thank you for those donations. Appreciate that. So yes, back to let me see. Right, let's try and skew these in order. Right, okay. Going back to what I said at the start. So we got more people in now, so good. Well done for joining on board. John, thank you for that, sir. Right, okay, NASA. You know what NASA stands for? Never a straight answer. Okay, why NASA will fire 3 rockets at the solar eclipse. This was 2 days ago by Forbes magazine. NASA has announced, and you can click onto that and it will go straight to the source. It will fire 3 scientific sounding rockets into the moon's shadow on Monday, April 8th, during the solar eclipse across North America. In what will be the total solar eclipse for a 115 miles wide path throughout parts of Mexico and 15 United States and Canada. Unbelievable. Look, I am not joking. Some of you guys are going to be saying I'm full of it. I'm not. Serpent deity. The Space Agency's project. Atmospheric perturbations around the ecliptic path. EPEP. Like I say, it goes back to the serpent deity. All right. It's exactly the same. It will investigate and the drop in sunlight temperature, effects on the Earth, blah, 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 blah. Crazy. So these are going to be coming from Wallops Flight Facility in Wallops Island, Virginia. Okay. So any of you guys live out in the Virginia area, you're probably going to be some activity around that area, I would assume. But yes, like I say, all of these articles are underneath this video. So please feel free to read them. We could just sit here and read all of them. But like I say, I've got another like 12 screens to share. So we've got a lot to go through. Like I say, this is breaking. And no doubt between now and the 8th of April, we are going to be seeing even more things pop up. Okay. So let me just close that, put that on the end. Right. Okay. Right. So, I'll tell you what, do you remember, where is it? Now, there is documents which I believe Homeland Security have already prepared online. I need to double check. Right. Okay. I'm just double checking this because I don't want to come across as BS and you guys. This needs to be double checked. Yeah. Okay. Now, Blackout Warfare. Now, this was something which was doing the rounds only about an hour and a half ago now. So whether any more has dropped is quite intriguing. We're talking about EMP, electromagnetic pulse. Okay. Some people are talking that you've got the four enemies. So you're looking at Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea. Okay. Enemies of the West, especially America. So all four of these countries have one thing in common. They all have high atmosphere EMP devices. Okay, so we are talking balloons. Now you can fly a balloon high altitude over a country with an EMP device, detonate that device, and the immediate area underneath will literally render all electronics useless. So how crazy would that be? We can already see America being taken apart. Whether you believe it, whether you've got your head up your ass or in the sand, it's happening. You've got to be blind not to see it. It's literally being taken apart day by day. And there doesn't seem to be any way of reversing this. It's almost like it's written. This has been well planned, and the plan is not far from literally being carried out. All of these things have to be in place over many, many years. There's lots of people, lots of brains, lots of evil, lots of wealth, which has been pulled together to try and make this actually happen. So, yeah, we are seeing this slow decline of America. We've got the rise of the BRICS nations. We've got the fall of the US dollar. We have got the massive amount of debt bubble. The whole country's publicly being run by a potato, which is incredible, but true. So all of these things are happening together. Now, it's just a matter of time. Now, this is the important thing to try and understand. Time is important. What we are going to see on the eclipse is going to be a start of something. Things will start changing from that event. Whether they will change on the day, I'm not so sure. I really don't think anything majorly significant is going to happen on the day. Quite possibly the next day. And no one's talking about the 9th, the post event of an eclipse. is sometimes more important than the big data itself, which a lot of people are getting sidetracked and literally sucked in and focused into. So what are we talking about? Balloons, exactly, can wipe out a whole country. All of the electronics will go. Okay, so think about it. Traffic systems, street lights, okay, traffic lights. What about cash points? What about tills in shops? What about Wi-Fi? What about internet? Can you imagine if all of that went out across the United States of America at exactly the same time? Everything has been very carefully planned and coerced to only run online. You take away the online bit, that leaves lots of things and people and businesses very vulnerable indeed, beyond compare. But nonetheless, an EMP strike would do that with not one bullet being fired. And it doesn't take much technology to do that, believe it or not. It's insane. So you have an EMP pulse, high altitude, takes out all of the electronics in America at the same time, unless you are clever enough to shield your devices from an EMP attack. Now, how many of you watching now know what I'm talking about? At very bare basics, you can get an ordinary phone like this, and you can wrap it about 5 or 6 times in the thickest tin foil that you can, pressing it as hard as possible to stop any sort of gaps from any electromagnetic pulse frequency getting into your device. Okay, believe it or not, that absolutely works. But don't believe me, get your phone, turn the volume up, wrap it up in 10 layers, lots of really thick, good quality tin foil, and get your friend or your partner or whoever to send you a text and have the volume up. It will not go through. It will not go through. It blocks everything. If you get your phone and you put it inside your microwave and shut the door, guess what? The text will go through. If you put it in the oven, off, obviously, the door shut, you send a text, it will go through. Put it in tin foil, lots, and it won't go through. It will block it. So it's a very, very cheap way you can crudely protect your devices from such an event. Okay. Now there's all sorts of stuff on the market, and they try to make you buy a special pouch or a bag that you can put your phone in, which costs $39.99 or something. Tin foil will do the same thing. Okay. If you don't believe me, try it. Okay. So yes, EMP, that goes off. Dirty bombs, nuke cases, all of these things are being theorized right now as this date of the April the 8th draws forward. Okay, you can launch devices from ships, from air, from land to go over a country, detonate, and wipe out everyone's communications. It's exactly the same principle which used to be used on an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile. Okay, back in the old days of the 80s, the Cold War, these huge, great big intercontinental ballistic nuclear missiles would fly transcontinent and detonate. Now, what would happen is it will be an airburst explosion that will wipe out all communications. All electronics will be fried. Then the bomb will go off. Then you get the blast, you get the fallout, and all of the nasty, disgusting stuff which happens on a nuclear event. But you can literally remove all of that and just use the EMP. I mean, what better to get a whole country reliant on electronics and the internet, and once enough people's reliant on it, then they can literally just go bing, wipe it all off. Now, the weird thing is, should that happen, and God forbid it doesn't, what about, obviously everything will go down, okay? Society will collapse. So all of the people in hospitals, no chance, okay? All of the devices which are electronic or required to be hooked up online just won't work. Life support, etc. All of these things would just stop instantly, okay? So lots of people in hospitals will die. Anyone who is literally reliant on any electronic device to keep them alive, that's going to be non-functional at this point. So lots of people will go, shall we say, as soon as that happens. What are you going to see then? You're going to see people rushing around trying to get resources because they're going to strip the shops bare within 24 hours. 24 hours, all shops, food, drink. If there's no electricity, all of a sudden, nationwide, you are going to see looting, rioting, theft. There's going to be nothing left at the shops. And then what? They're going to go further afield to try and get whatever they need. Okay. So what happens when someone or some entity, the World Economic Forum, with all of the other nefarious organizations, which I'm sure we are all aware of, that is it, the Great Reset. This could be the Great Reset. They could literally go, okay, we can put the internet on and everything will be fine again. But to do that, we need to make sure that we don't make the mistakes which we've done before. There'll probably be lots of propaganda videos online, social media, on the newspapers, etc., saying that we need to change. We can't go back to the way we lived. We can't be polluting the atmosphere and making the weather patterns bad. We can't have all of this sex, child crime online and all the rest of it. You know, we need to sort of tidy things up. And what they're going to do, if you believe in Revelation, the mark of the beast will then be offered at that point. You will have no choice but to take that mark, just to literally barter, buy, trade, and eat. So only those who don't fall into that system and operate outside it literally won't be allowed to have any of the benefits of modern society. So if you don't take that mark, you won't be able to use the police force. You won't be able to use any doctors or hospitals. You are going to be an outcast. And that is how they are going to get people to take that trackable, traceable, psychologically controlling device implanted inside the human body. If you think this is far-fetched, crazy, no. Look at where is it? Sweden. I like to remember them. Back in 2012, I think it was. There was loads. I think there's thousands of youngsters opted to do a trial to get an RFID, a radio frequency identification device, implanted inside their skin, so they could start their cars, open their houses, pay for goods, just going beep, just like that. That's done over 10 years ago now, 12 years ago now. Okay, so this technology has already been proven. It's already been checked. They've got data back. They know what they're doing, so they could literally roll that out. Okay, and yeah, that would be the Great Reset. Everything would be reset. So there's that being talked about at the moment. Now you could literally flip a coin whether that's actually going to happen. I don't think it will personally, but like I say, nonetheless, that stuff is being talked about. Now, this, if I can draw this to your attention. Right. Yes, got it. Well, we got 1,178 people in the house. That's awesome. And we are going to share this screen. Now, let me have a look if it comes up all right. Sweet. Okay, we can see it. Now, we're not going to show all of this because it goes on with 17 minutes. And you won't need to see all of it. So basically, this dropped at CERN only a few days ago. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link to this video or this ritual underneath this video so you can see it. Okay. So what we are seeing on this video, which they released on their own website. Okay. We are seeing water symbolizing emotion. The whole background is blue, emphasizing communication. And we are seeing two circles. This is symbolizing the eclipse of two spheres, different colors, the same size. And we are seeing a dance. Now, I want you to tell me what sort of dance you think this actually is, and who the dancer is representing with the dance. And we are seeing it's almost like a transhuman change where you get the latest state of the art 3D holograms being projected onto a human being, representing the change from biological human to a digital human. So basically, all of your thoughts, blah, 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 will just be uploaded onto a cloud. This is very symbolic. The technology now is almost here for organizations to literally transhuman human beings right now. We've already seen all different body parts inside and out being grown and replicated digitally, and 3D printers, etc. So we could go on and on and on. But like I say, that video in its entirety is underneath this one. I've marked them all so you can see them very easily. Let me just see if any of you guys got it on here. The technological singularity. Yeah, pretty much. Reset. Lap dance. The dance of death. Shiva. There you go. Yeah. Exactly. Shiva. Right. So, whilst we are on the subject of Shiva, let's look at that, shall we, and see what the significances are for what we're about to deep dive into. Okay, so let's go back in time. On the 18th of June, this was, let me see, this was back in 2004, okay? So the 18th of June, 2004, this happened, okay? Whoa, they don't want me showing that. Anyway, so yes, CERN unveiled an unusual new landmark, a 2-meter tall statue of the Indian deity Lord Shiva. Here is Mr. Shiva. Okay. Now, the important thing to note is the date. Okay. The 18th of June, 2024. Okay. Now, I've already done this on live streams before. Yeah, Shiva. Yeah. There was one of 3 in the Hindu traditions, and Shiva was sent for to destruct things. Okay, you can't have things keep going. At some point, everything has to be destroyed and restarted again. It's just a universal code which we are linked into. So there we go. Just a real quick thing, just to bring you guys up to speed if you're not already with it. So here we go. Shiva is said to be the great destroyer who will annihilate the universe in the end of time, only for it to be reborn as part of the endless cycle of death and rebirth. You can't really get it any plainer than that. Okay, why are we seeing that outside CERN? Why are we seeing that on the very old site of Apollo? So this is what I need to share with you guys. Well done for you for staying this far, because in my opinion, this isn't available online. So you guys are going to be the first to hear this information right now. Okay, what we just saw, Shiva officially unveiled at CERN the 18th of June, 2004. Okay, between buildings 39 and 40. I haven't looked that far yet, but if anyone wants to look into the significance between 39 and 40, sure, email me. The email address is on the bottom of the screen right now, and underneath this video too. So that ceremony which we just saw, the dance of destruction, Shiva, inside that CERN facility 3 days ago from now, that date was the 25th of March, 2024. Okay, so between the 18th of June 2004 until the 25th of March 2024 is exactly 237 months. 237 months. So, a square pyramidal number. if any of you guys are into sacred geometry. You can literally run that through Fibonacci, the Fibonacci sequence. Okay, a very, very significant number, one of the very few pyramidal numbers which you can construct and deconstruct pyramids with those numbers, okay, in sequence. Now, not only that, 237. Why is that important? Other than a Fibonacci sequence number, a pyramidal number, okay? Like I said, how far is it from the Earth to the moon? Have a guess. 237,000 miles. Yeah, 237,000 miles. So the distance between the Earth and the moon is that. The distance between the moon and the sun is something else. But from that distance, we are going to see that lunar eclipse on the 8th of April, not that far away now. So I'd like to draw your attention to, if I can find it, let me have a look. All right, let me just see. We're just checking this. Okay. Now, like I said, bear that in mind. 237. Okay. Now, whilst we're waiting for this to bloody upload, and it needs to, I bet it won't. Something tells me it won't. Aha, it has. Okay. Who has seen the film The Shining? Okay. By a very, very talented guy, Stanley Kubrick. Who have seen the two documentaries, Kubrick's Odyssey and Beyond the Infinite? Has anyone seen those? Be great if you did. So we are going to blow it right now. Okie dokie. Right. From the film, okay? So what we are seeing here in picture number 1 is a character called Danny. It's the young boy. Look at that, Apollo 11. Yes, that number 11 again. You know, the 11 that Freemasons use everywhere. And that was the mission. Yes, he wore Apollo 11 on his jumper. Now, if you was to look at the carpet design, that's exactly the same design layouts and where the launch pads were, where the Apollo rocket took off from. Okay, so when he was kneeling down, he was symbolically being launched from that launch pad wearing that jumper, going over to room 237 in picture number 2. 237,000 miles. So from launch with his rocket on his jumper to that room, 237. 237,000 miles, as shown in the film. Who remembers Tang? That drink. You can see that underneath the top picture on your left. Now, they were basically created for astronauts. And I think one of the first missions that was used was on the Apollo 11 mission. Clues in there already. And like if you look at the carpet where it's playing on the floor, that is exactly the same design and shape as launch pad 39A, where Apollo 11 absolutely took off from. Okay, so what are the chances of that? 237 precisely between those two symbolic events, from the unveiling of the famous Shiva statue outside the CERN facility, right up to that very, very weird dance of destruction ritual, which we just saw released officially 3 days ago on the CERN website. Incidentally, all of this is available underneath this video. Click more and you can click away and you can watch all of these videos, read all of these things. It's crazy. So I think someone said earlier about the EMP thing. Right, so we're going to go over to this. This is the US Naval Institute, okay? This is not BS, okay? This is genuine from the United States Naval Institute across in America. And you go onto their website. Incidentally, the link will be underneath this video. Let me have a look. An EMP or solar incident could result in blackout warfare. Now, blackout warfare is what we talked about earlier. Okay, this was over a year ago now from a guy who was in the Marines. He wrote this report. Now, like we said earlier, it's not just America, it's all Western countries are so fragile now with how electronic infrastructure is set up and how it works. It's very vulnerable. If you take out a few key areas, you are literally going to be in the dark ages instantly. And the amount of time it's going to take to get everything back online and working with the financial burden of replacing things, because when you see ICs, which are integrated circuits, when they're fried, they are fried. If the rest of the circuit's okay, you're going to have to desolder that IC and put a new one in, if you can create them, because everything requires electricity, doesn't it? So this is a huge, big, massive knock-on effect. More than a threat. Look at this. If you didn't know about this, this is going to be quite insightful. Okay, this is absolutely true. This really did happen. Okay. In 1859, a geomagnetic solar storm called the Carrington event occurred. A massive CME, which is a coronal mass ejection, erupted from the sun, effectively disrupting all telegraph key communications across the world and destroying many. Telegraph, that is how you used to communicate back then, via copper wire telegram. Okay, the CME melted the electrically powered telegraph keys and started a series of fires. In 1921, from the 13th to the 16th of May, a CME knocked out telegraph keys, telephones, and other communication networks around the world. That CME was severe enough to start multiple fires, thanks mostly to switchboards bursting into flames. And in March 1989, the entire province of Quebec, Canada, suffered an electrical power blackout. Any of you guys in Canada at the time, do you remember that happening? Hit me up in the live chat or put it in the comment section under the video. It would be great to share your experiences with others who have not suffered any sort of CME effect. So back in March 1989 in Quebec, Canada, that absolutely happened. It suffered an electrical blackout stemming from a CME. Now listen to this. 2012, another one erupted from the sun, missing the Earth by just 9 days. Now, if that would have hit our planet, I don't even know what life would be like now. It's that crazy. The US electoral infrastructure has suffered 721 known physical and cyber attacks in the past decade. Unbelievable. See, all of this stuff is here, okay? Anyone can manufacture NMEMP weapons using commercial equipment and designs from the internet. So that really does throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Anyone can make these devices. Unbelievable. These weapons can produce upward of 100,000 volts per meter, albeit only over short distances. High-powered microwave weapons are also a threat and can project EMPs out to 10 clicks. Suitcase EMP generators can even be purchased online. No license required. A coordinated attack on the US power grid against multiple facilities with such weapons would threaten the security of millions of Americans and the military. And Russia, in particular, has demonstrated an ability to shut off its adversaries' lights through the use of cyber attacks. Now, we could just go on and on and on reading through this article, but nonetheless, it makes some really interesting and fascinating reading. So let me see. I'm just going to drop into the chat now. We got 1,207. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. I know it's early, so kudos to you. If you could share it, that link, that would really help. Apparently, lots of people are liking to share my videos on Facebook, WhatsApp, and I think it was Telegram, on Telegram groups. So that's really cool if you guys do that. Now, this is from Carl. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Like I say, if you can just try to imagine your own personal set of circumstances, your own situation right now, okay? The electronic devices and online devices, okay? How would you fare if you didn't have them all of a sudden? So no phone, no electricity, no internet. How would you get by? Working. You wouldn't be able to work. You wouldn't be able to earn money because most people get paid into their bank accounts. You won't be able to use online banking or any banking. Everything relies on the internet. All banking does. Okay. Everything's electronic. So you wouldn't get any money. You would still be able to use cash, but you've probably got a maximum of 3 days, I would guess. If you had a catastrophic nationwide event, 3 days, people are going to be saying, what's the point of cash? I don't care. You could give me $100,000 for that car, which was protected from an EMP that works. I say, no, 100 grand sounds great, but it's no good now. What's the point? So, like I've been saying for friggin' years, since 2012, since I started doing my YouTube channel and my videos, the most important thing that we should all have is useful items. Okay, forget money, even to some extent forget gold and silver. Gold and silver is great before a collapse. After a collapse, I really don't think it's going to have any value. I really don't. The best time to spend all of your silver is before something like this happens. Convert it into cash. Use your cash to go and buy stuff that you really need. Anything that you think is going to help you and your family. Anything. Whether it's a bug out vehicle, whether it's lots of fuel, whether it's Faraday cages, whether it's food, whether it's kit and equipment, camping stuff, whatever you think you're really going to need, those are going to be the most important things to have when something like this goes down. Money won't be worth jack shit. Gold and silver won't be worth jack shit. Useful, barterable items will be highly valuable, okay? I remember reading a report of the war in Kosovo, okay? Do you know one of the most traded, highly sought after items, which everyone needed, but not everyone had? A lighter, a cigarette lighter. Worth its weight in gold, okay? Useful things are better than silver, gold, cash. Way better. And definitely worth more than lots of numbers on the bank account screen, because all of those numbers on the bank account screen, should this sort of thing happen, will be reset to zero and you are absolutely skint. What are you going to do? Very, very important things to think about. I made the decision a long time ago to literally convert all of the money I had into useful items. I'm glad I got my stuff when I did, because some of the prices of the things which I got years ago are so rare, valuable, expensive, well made. Lots of the stuff, the new stuff these days aren't all that. We're talking like some of the clothes is like really sketchy. Some of the furniture. I mean, look at the crap you get in IKEA now. It's basically chipboard, which is like sawdust and glue with a thin bit of plastic veneer on it. That's not furniture. That's shit. Real solid, hardcore, old-fashioned, durable, well-made furniture, which costs very little money second-hand. Way better than that new, expensive, cheap crap. Amongst lots of other things, okay? It's crazy. So, if you could please give this video a thumbs up, if you can please share it. Seriously, I'm not joking. It really, really helps. Thanks to everyone who's donated tonight. It really, really means a lot. Seriously, because without you guys, this is my job now. I don't think I'll be able to do much about this sort of stuff with the video. So you guys really do help and support behind the scenes. The merch is coming along, and hopefully we can get that up and running real soon. The charity walk was done. People are still donating. You guys are awesome. I think it was Richard and Robert and Steve donated on PayPal yesterday. Thank you for that, helping the channel grow and get the word out. You guys are awesome. Everyone who's taken part in this chat, 1212, and it's exactly 1 hour. Wow. Isn't it weird with numbers? But yes, there will be no doubt more videos like this coming out between now and this eclipse. I'm not joking. This stuff's dropping all of the time. So yeah, to recap, yeah, CERN is starting its facility on the day of the eclipse. NASA are going to fire 3 rockets at the moon during the eclipse. Yeah, and all of the weird bloody rituals and symbology that have been put out there surrounding all of this. Yeah, and don't forget the 2012 Olympics, and don't forget the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham a few years ago. Might be worth a rewatch if you haven't seen them for a while. Yeah, lots of it is all pointing to this eclipse. Yeah, so if you think this is just an ordinary eclipse, etc., no, something very different and very fishy and very odd about this one. So I'd like us all to stay vigilant and make sure you've got notifications turned on, because if you haven't, you're going to miss these live streams. These are going to be dropping so random over the next 10 days or so. Okay, so please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done. If you have, double check that you've hit that notification bell, because the amount of times I get messages saying I got a notification 3 hours after it went live. So I usually do a live stream every Friday at 8 p.m. UK time. Apart from that, they could be during the day anytime. So you need to make sure your notification is set to all notifications. Everyone who's taken part in the chat, bless you all. You've been awesome. All of you guys and girls who have donated, fantastic. Really appreciate it. So thanks to John and thanks to Simon for those super stickers. Incredible. And all of the members, 3 new members joined this week. Really appreciate it. And of course, a big shout out to our awesome moderators. Isn't that right, honey? Yeah. So yeah, the moderators, honestly, bless you all for what you do, because you know you're keeping it real, keeping it all in check, and making sure it's all good in the hood. So if I don't see you before Friday night, I'm going to see you probably in the daytime. We don't know, but whatever it is, make sure you take care. Thanks for watching. Stay funky.